going to survive. So please don't do that. And we also encourage people, please look before you book. There are many sloth encounters out there that are 100% financially motivated. And of course, we do want to make a living and a fair profit with what we do here. But our sloths only book 2 hours per day total. They book 1 hour in the AM, 1 hour in the PM. They have a 3-hour break in between. They only see 2 people at a time. So our sloths are not stressed out, unhappy animals. And because they are well cared for, they are, sorry, they are likely to live 50 years.
Wow.
And but yeah, we are very, very guarded of our sloths' time and the number of people that they see, because we genuinely love all of our animals here, or we wouldn't have them.
We could tell that right off the bat. The way they're also kept so well.
Yes.
And we're animal lovers, so we would never buy anything like that.
I myself went to a sloth encounter in Central America before I knew better. I had no idea how that worked.
Yeah, there's all kinds of.
Suffice to say, I wouldn't do that again. Where are you guys in from today?
Well, Raleigh is where we're from.
Oh, nice. It's not too far.
No, it was a nice trip.
It's a good drive.
Is it your
Yeah.
turn?
Huh?
Is it your turn?
What is Raleigh, 3-4 hours?
No, it's more like
6.5.
Yeah, 6.5.
Oh, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's Raleigh, Tennessee, right?
Is
I think
that?
there's, I don't know if there's a Raleigh, Tennessee, I was thinking North Carolina,
Oh, okay.
not sure.
My geography, I guess, is a little whacked. Stay on the farm too much.
Yeah.
You guys want to trade?
Yes, it's her turn.
Alright. Hi, Nanny. We'll see. Nana. Nana. Hi, Nana, buddy. I know. We'll trade chairs there.
Yep.
We always give the baby just a minute in
Of
between
course.
trade-offs. Just so we're not so back to back.
My phone or your phone for pictures?
I'll use mine. I can share.
So again, he is a pretty good cleaner, so when we
Okay.
try to transfer him off, you won't need to lift him up too much. He'll eventually get there to be able to put both of his arms around you. So. Alright, bud. You see who wants to see you?
Hi, baby. Hi, baby.
And Kaylee, you know they have 2 back-to-back, so they still have
Yes.
another half
Yeah.
hour.
I think she's gonna stay in with the man that's gonna come in, and she's gonna go out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha.
I still behind him. Hi, baby.
And they have very poor eyesight, so they can't really see the difference between, but they can hear the difference. You know, once they get to know somebody's voice, then they can tell, you know, who that is that's talking to him. He's still learning my voice, but he definitely knows John's. And so he spends the majority of the time in the house right now while he's still a baby. He just comes down here for a little bit to eat and have counters and stuff. But,
You were right, soft, like the cat.
Just like my cat.
now
The
they like
three-toed, yeah, the three-toed look like they're a little
Yeah.
wiry.
Yes. Yeah, those are most of the pictures that you see online.
Yeah,
Will be
like
the ones
like they're
that,
smiling.
yes, with the
Yeah.
banded eyes and look like they're smiling
Yeah.
all the time, yeah.
Yeah, that's when people do stupid things.
And in the wild, you know, you see all those pictures where they have moss and algae growing on them and everything. That's because under a microscope, if you look at a sloth's hair, it has a lot of cracks and divots and things like that in it that allow for, while they're in the wild, you know, the rainforest, the real wet, moist environment, all that to get down in the hair follicles and to start
Yeah.
growing the mold and moss and everything.
I read something like there's 140 species of something that live
Yes.
just on a
Yes.
cloth.
And one of those, the most important one being the sloth moth. That's actually the name of them.
Away.
Yeah, and that's the only place that the sloth moth lives in the entire world, is on the back of a sloth.
Oh my gosh.
And they have a mutual, move your chin away, so
Yep.
He
said,
getting hungry.
sounds good. That sounds good.
They have a mutual symbiotic relationship between the moths and the sloths, meaning that once a week, when the sloth comes down to use the bathroom, he goes all the way down the side of the tree, same side of the tree every week, scoots his little booty around, does a potty dance, and then we'll go ahead and use the bathroom. And while he's using the bathroom, the female moths that are on top of the sloth will come down and lay their larva in the waist of the sloth. And then a week later, after the larva has had time to develop, the sloth will come down the same side of the tree and go back to the same pile that he did the week before. And those larvae that have turned into now moths will climb up onto the
Oh,
sloth
wow.
and go into the rainforest. So it works for the moths because they have transport to go to and from where they have to lay their eggs. And then it works for the sloth because the sloths rely on, in the wild, they rely on the moths to maintain a healthy gut biome that they need in order to digest all the leaves and things that they eat.
Yeah, I heard that, I think they lose like a third of their weight.
They do. If you only go to the bathroom every
Once a
7 to
week
10 days.
And you
then
eat all those leaves.
Yeah.
Yes,
You have to
absolutely.
expel a lot.
They are fascinating creatures.
Yes. They are.
She's sleeping?
He's getting there.
He's getting there, but his eyes are still awake. He's like just happy. He's in a happy zone, I hope.
I thought I heard him almost purring. Is that-
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes he makes little noises. Zoe actually, our other, we say baby, but she's a 16-month-old sloth. When she was a baby, we actually almost wanted to name her Oof, because every time you lay her down, she'd go oof, oof, and go out and reach for you.
Oh.
Like I said, these babies are trained to love people.
So pretty.
You must feel very lucky to be able to.
I'm wanting to get into vet school, and so I'm hoping that this experience will help me stick out on my application. And be able to
Absolutely.
get in, and
Yeah.
hopefully one day, 4+ years from now, be able to come back and be the vet for years.
Yeah, this seems
That
like
would
a
be
good
great.
place, yeah.
It's funny,
She's
Zoe.
fine.
I'm in love.
I know, she's fine now that she ate some spinach there.
It's okay, baby, you can go to sleep. And you said they can live to be 50?
Yeah, so in the wild, scientists have not been able to track in the wild a sloth from birth to natural decease. And so in the captivity, we've had the oldest sloth that we know of was in Germany. Her name was Jan, or his name was Jan. It was a boy. I don't know if they thought that
Oh, well.
she was a female, but he was a male, and his name was Jan. And he passed away last October at the age of 54.
Wow.
So,
I think a lot of them die from electrocution and,
Yes.
and predation and highways and dogs.
and the tourists. And
Probably long
everything.
before their time, yeah.
Yeah.
Sad. That's part of the reason why I've never wanted to go to like Galapagos or anything. I don't wanna screw it up. You know, I don't wanna be
Yes.
part of the problem.
Yeah. We call Dash our belly baby because he likes to hook around our torsos, and then Zoe, she likes to hook up here around our necks.
We were talking to the gentleman that's staying in the covered wagon next to us, and he said she was just hanging all over me, but she didn't like my like that.
Aw.
I said maybe, oh, well, I didn't say it, but I was thinking maybe because you were more like his mom.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah. Another cool fact about sloths is that they average to fall out of the tree in the wild about once a week, whether it be due to predation. You know, if you have a big cat that comes up there in the trees that has
Fall down.
spotted it, you know, that his goal is to get to the end of the branch, and gets to the end of the branch and has nowhere else to go. And so they can tumble from, you know, about 100 feet or so and hit the ground, and he will most certainly get up and be able to climb back up the tree, and whatever it was that was chasing him would not. And that's because that sloths have a total of 46 ribs, 2 sets of 23, and they have connective tissue that goes in between their organs and their rib cage that keeps all of their intestines and everything in place.
Because they're always upside down too.
Yeah. If you think about getting into a car accident or something, all of your insides jolt
Shake around.
afterwards. Yep, and that's what tends to be, the issue with a lot of the, causing injuries and things like that, but they don't have that problem. So,
Oh, yeah, completely content now.
he has pretty dark fur right now, but as they get older, they tend to lose a lot of that darkness and they'll go a little bit
Light
paler.
brown.
Yeah. As their baby hair starts to grow out and their adult hair comes in, their adult hair is a little bit lighter.
So when are they considered to be kind of adult?
I guess, well, when they turn a year old, we used to call Zoe's, Snuggles, baby sloth Snuggles, and when she turned a year old, we drop the baby part and just say sloth Snuggles.
Okay.
And we'll do the same thing with him, so I'm not sure if there's a start point, when they start breeding, I'm not sure when that age is.
And when would they naturally say, leave their, hanging on their mom all day?
So for the two-toed sloths, it's not that long. In the wild, the mother doesn't have the ability to store milk, and so it's just produce and provide. And so they don't, with the very low energy stores that they have, don't have the ability to be able to produce that
Right,
much
that
for
makes
a long
sense,
period of
yes.
time. And so it's only just a few short months before,
Needs
mother
to
will-
leave, so.
Mhm. And it's not always that the mother will leave the baby, sometimes it's the baby that will leave the mother, because they aren't social animals in the wild. You hear of a flock or a, gander or a group of animals, there's no name for that for sloths
sloths.
because they don't exist.
Solitary.
And even when they breed, they breed for a short amount of time and then the male will leave. And they don't stick together afterwards, the adults will never see their children. And so it's the same way. Of course, they have that bond when they're baby
Sure,
and mother,
of
but then
course,
once
yes,
they
they have to.
get a certain age, they're like, all right,
Yeah,
see you later.
yeah.
He must have forgot that he was hungry.
Yeah.
When he sleep.
Oh, his eyes are open. Yes.
Probably feels me breathing on it.
It's good you stopped it. No?
Oh. Hi, baby. Craig is good.
I know.
Is he the most excited for it?
I would be the most excited.
Yeah.
It was for my birthday,
Oh, yeah,
but, yeah, he'll be excited too.
yeah. Did you guys book at a good time in advance?
A couple months.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it to order because the guy who supposed to order wasn't there today. Yeah.
Their eyes always stay real dilated like that, even in darkness and everything as well. They have what's called rod monochromacy, so they only have rod cells in their eyes and no cone cells. And cone cells are what's responsible for us to see color. And so they're essentially colorblind, and it's almost like if you've ever seen a movie where they have night goggle vision, they show a scene of that, it's basically how they see. So they can't see the difference between you and me, only see figures.
I guess it's probably to protect them from the bright light.
Yeah. Well, they also have something that's called bright blindness, where in the daytime it's
They
a
don't
lot
see very
harder for
well,
them to
do
see.
they?
Yeah, so they tend to come out a lot more in the nighttime, the evenings when the sun starts to go down. Of course, it helps them as well in the rainforest where they have basically a canopy above them, so
Right.
even in the daytime it stays pretty
Dark.
dim.
These claws aren't as sharp as I thought they would be.
Oh, no, I kinda knew they weren't sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were laughing because my cat did that.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
goodness. Yeah.
a kitten, feral,
Oh,
trying to not be feral, but he still is.
yeah. Yeah, for our older two sloths that climb around, we leave all of the bark and everything on the trees that are in their enclosure. That way they naturally kind of wear their
Snuff bug.
claws down.
I also, read that their teeth continuously grow because we have squirrels and their
Yes.
teeth continuously
Yeah.
grow because, for the same reason,
Mhm.
because they keep chewing, they chew them down and
Yes.
then there's nothing left.
Yes.
Makes sense. I just never thought of that.
And they actually, you can kind of hear when he opens and closes his mouth, they sharpen their teeth as they open and close their mouth like that. Usually I don't tell people that until they've been holding them for a while and know that they're not gonna, go for their neck or anything. Well,
Well, that might be what I thought, I heard was purring.
yeah, could be.
So I'll have all of them fed, if you just wanna do cows and kangaroos tonight, does that work with you? Alright.
Well, it's about time
Yep.
for
Mr. Craig,
God to come in. So.
you want me to leave too, or?
No,
you want me to
you
just
said
stay
you were
here?
gonna stay
Okay,
in here,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Hi, Dash.
He says it for a minute.
There we go.
Oh.
Down there. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Some of those pictures turned out well for us.
Yeah.
And so you can go out and just let him know that to hit the hand sanitizer as he comes in.
Okay.
And then I'll meet him in here.
All right. Bye, Dash. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oops, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
Okay.
He said the guy is gonna come in now and she's gonna stay in
Oh,
here
okay,
with
okay.
the guy that's gonna come in.